G. Boys and girls, let's all read that rule together. Come down here to the bottom of your phonics page and you did the homework. Chandler, we need your help. Let's all read together. Remember, if the word has a consonant and then a Y at the end, you must change the Y to an I before adding a suffix that begins with a vowel, except ing. So, I would like to ask Ms. Greer, be sure your name is on this. When I have a chance, I'm going to sit and check all of these and make sure that you got an adult to check this. Raise your hand if you did get your parents or some grown-up to check this.
I don't know.
Brock, bring me yours. Then yesterday I told you how important it was to be sure to have a grown-up check it. Moody didn't want you to do all of this incorrectly.
My mom checks it
Okay, that's it. That's all you need to tell me. Who's collecting these papers? Did I? Oh, I'm sorry. You, and you. Please quickly get these. If your name is not on this paper, then I won't know who it belongs to. Yesterday it was really sad when you took your little test about Molly. One of them didn't have a name of it, so I still haven't been able to figure out who that is yet. Okay, let's go ahead, boys and girls, and open up our phonics book. You should have nothing on your desk now but your phonics book. It's true. Now, put this in the bottom basket. See that purple basket? Put them in the bottom, please. Alright, boys and girls, let's look at page 33. Alright, this is the page I would like you to tear out for homework tonight. What you're going to do is put your two-syllable words in the correct box. One box says they want all the words that end in BLE, and then DLE, GLE, and TLE. So be sure, all you do is look at the word and put it in the right box. Now, put this in your homework folder now, James. While you're putting that in your homework folder, Ms. Moody is going to put some very important words up on the board for our new story. Give him your paper now. Is that your homework? Is it not finished? Is that the problem?
No, I was writing my name.
Oh, okay. Well, let's write it quicker. Please put those in the bottom purple page. No talking. It's Miss Moody's turn to talk. Close your phonics book, put it away, and look at me. Taylor, Miss Moody has asked you 3 times to put that in your homework folder.
What page is it that we have to get out?
Now, boys and girls, it's page 33. It goes in your homework folder.
The left. I mean the right side.
Okay, I need you to listen to this. If I have anyone that is talking, I'm going to write your name down in this book, Sterling, anyone, and we'll have a little meeting about that. Now, we only have X amount of time in here, but your big jail. You can tear that out. It is, tear it out. Now, I have already put some of our words up here. As you can tell, they have multiple syllables, not just one. Some do, some don't. What is this word, please, Xavier? It has the re prefix, and it has an ed suffix. Turn, T-U-R-N is turn. Returned.
Returned. I returned a book to the library.
That's good. Library. There's a blueberry, a strawberry, and a raspberry, but there is no library. Now let's look at the next word. Here's your base word, turn. And you added a prefix, re, and a suffix, ed. Next word, what would this be, please, Sterling? We're going up and down the road, so please be ready. What's your word? What does Ari say? Like return. What's S-T-O-R-E? You go to buy things at a store. Restored. Something that is restored, what does that mean, Luke? Something is restored.
It means like someone.
Let's say you have an old piece of furniture that was your great-great-great-great-grandmother's, and you fix it back up, put it new. What did you do to it? Class, you restored it. Next word, we go over here to Bryce. Bryce, what's T-O-L-I-S-H? Short of ah. It polished. We polished the silver. Raiden, what would this word be? That's a V-A-L. Now, what something is worth is this. If something is worth a lot, we say, what is this? What, Braden?
Vowel?
Value. The value or the worth of something. Valued is something that you have, like a special possession that you really care about. Now let's go to the next word. That would be Brock's word. Brock, what would this word be? Flesh. M-I-R. Miraculous. A miraculous discovery. It's like a miracle. It's miraculous. Now, let's go up to this word. It looks a little bit like miraculous, and what someone in my room thought I had written it twice. What would this be, Layla? You know Robert R. steals the A. Marvelous. Some children are able to take a marvelous vacation, like to Disney World.
Robert
Yes.
R. steals
Next talking out. Wasim, pay attention. Look up here, doll baby. What is FAB? FAB. Sound it out. What does F say? What does the letter F say? Fabulous. Fabulous, right. I took a fabulous trip to India. And what would this word be, James? A long E. You have a long E. What would that be? T-R-E. E. M-E-N. That's a word. Tree. What's M-E-N? Men. Tremendous. The dinosaurs were tremendous. Yes. Boys and girls, I've said this so many times. Please try to remember what Miss Moody says. You never have to ask for a tissue. Just get up and get the tissue. Okay? Now, put your hands down. Let's go to the next person's word. It's not even on the board. Let's see. This is an important word, boys and girls. What would this word be? Collie? Short A. What does short A say? Okay, you need to get up and go tell me you're sorry, or don't do that again. Sacrifice.
Yep.
Sacrifice. A sacrifice. Kylie, do you know what a sacrifice is? When somebody makes a sacrifice?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Like my
All
mom
right.
told me
Well,
at the time.
that's okay. That's okay. Walker, what's a sacrifice? True. Sometimes people actually sacrifice their life. Like if a fireman sees a burning building and he goes in there and a big beam is getting ready to fall on a little child, he might know that he has to act quickly and maybe sacrifice his life to save the little child who has the whole life ahead of him. And so he will go, please don't interrupt, that's so rude. So he will go into the burning building and he will save the child. And maybe he will get hurt or even die, but he made that sacrifice. But another way, hands down, Mrs. Mooney is not giving you a turn to talk because I am teaching and I don't want to be interrupted right now. I care about what you have to say and I know that it's important, but you can tell me this at recess. So please let me finish. Thank you. Let's say you have a family that you know about in your neighborhood and they lost, maybe there was a fire and they lost all their clothes and toys and stuff. And you've been saving your money for a certain Roblox game or Lego thing. And you say to your family, you know, I've been saving my money for something for me. But I want to make a sacrifice. I want to take my money and just give it to that family because they don't have clothes and toys. That would be so kind of you. But a sacrifice has to be done willingly. In other words, if your mother makes you do it, is that a sacrifice?
No, it's
No,
not.
ma'am. You have to want from your heart to show that kind of love and kindness to someone else, to help them. Because you know you can save more money, right? And get the game later or whatever it is. So a sacrifice is when you unselfishly give up something that you want it, but you want to give it up willingly. Do you understand? It's being very, very unselfish. That's a great thing to do. And if you do truly give a sacrifice, you will feel so wonderful about it that it would be a good thing for you to do and to start doing. All right, let's look at another word. Look at this, boys and girls. This word is what? Who would like to raise their hand? Because this is a new one. Chandler? Okay. Not quite. But very close. Okay. Malachi? Drought. What is a drought?
Oh, I know what it is.
Brock, what's a drought?
A kind of fish.
Well, it might be, but what is normally a drought? Who knows? James?
When your town, like a fountain in a town or something, or town uses water.
Water. Very good. Very, very good. But Chandler, listen.
Or like,
No, you said it. It's when there's no water. For a long time, there's no rain. You have a drought. If you have a drought with no rain, then you're probably not going to have any what? Who knows? Okay, Brock?
water.
Yeah, but what do we need water to grow, Layla? Brock?
Plants.
Right. We eat the plants. So if you have no rain, you have a drought, you have no food, you have a, who knows what it's called with no food? Malachi? Start with the L. It starts with the L. We will, but yes, Braden. A famine. A famine is a period of time with no food. And the reason we're talking about this is because the story we're getting ready to read soon. Boys and girls, these are old cards, but they are worth their weight in gold, so you need to listen. Some of us need to, I'll put that back up. We need to practice these sounds. O-U. O-U has like at least 6 different sounds of words that we will be reading in the first grade and in the second grade. But it's a review for some of you. For others, it's new. So please listen. O-U can say this word. What is this word? Can you see it, class? Just say it if you can see it. The ought. What is this?
Should.
Should.
Scout.
Out. Touch.
Soup.
And what's this? Shoulder. So, listen to these sounds. Just think about OU for a moment. Sterling, could you please turn around and watch Miss Moody's TV? Okay? Thank you. Look at these letters and think about when you see these in a word. Waiting for the voice in the back. Here we go. All, ow, o. The all should ska out to older. 6 different sounds. So let's continue to work with those OU words. Next is OW. OW can say, ow! What happens when somebody steps on your foot? Or it can say, cheery, oey, oey, o. Now let's look at some of these words. What would this be? Snow, blow, own. This is my own car. Now, let's look at the other sound. Miss Minnie didn't know I had that on a card, so I'll have to fold this. Here's the other sound of OW. Okay, be sure you're looking at these words. Wait a minute, we'll read it together. Uh, what does this say, class?
How
Now,
brown cow.
How now, brown cow? The O-W-ow sound. All right. And then we'll go over some of the others later. But I just really wanted to show you all that this morning. Boys and girls, who can raise their hand and tell Miss Moody what a fable is? Honey, I'm gonna let you take that hood off, and your arms out. We have to be safe. Okay?
A fable is when you have no food and water for a very long time.
You are so close. I think you're thinking of famine. What's the difference in a fable and a fairy tale? Okay, James?
The first one that is the short one, not fairy tale, the other one, is a title. Some sort.
Right.
A fairy tale is a made-up story.
Right. A fairy tale is just a fun, entertaining story, like Cinderella, Cinderella, Cinderella. It doesn't really teach us anything. But a fable always has a moral or a lesson with it. And animals are the characters, usually animals, and they dress up like people and tell us the story. Now, a legend is what? What's a legend?
Ooh, I don't know.
Anybody? Okay, James.
Something that's like a myth or something that people say, but nobody actually knows if it's true or not.
And it's not like, who knows whose birthday is September the 26th that was a famous American? Johnny, oh, you said it. What is it? You know what? Johnny Cash was a very famous American. But this is a different person.
Johnny Apples?
Johnny Appleseed. Does anybody know his real name?
Johnny Nash.
Yes?
Johnny Apples?
No.
Johnny
His
Apples?
real name was John Chapman. And they called him Johnny Appleseed. He loved apples and he planted trees for the pioneers. But he was a real man.
Oh.
He was not a made-up man.
And
Excuse me, you cannot do that. What I wanted to tell you was, they say a lot of things about Johnny Appleseed. And one of them is that on one cold winter night, he crawled into a hollow log and slept beside a grizzly bear. Now, did that probably happen?
Oh.
No. People can't really go into a wild animal's home, especially a grizzly bear, and spend the night. So today's story is called The Legend of the Blue Bonnet. And blue bonnets are flowers that are really, they have so many of them in the state of Texas. And Texas is, let's look over here, and Miss Greer will point to Texas. The Cherokee Indians, boys and girls, settled in the northern part of Texas, way up at the top of Texas, and all around there, Nebraska, Oklahoma, and the Plains area. The Cherokee Indians were famous, close your book please, Cherokee Indians were really famous for being such fierce, great warriors. They also were famous for their horseback riding skills. They were great horsemen. And this is a legend about a little girl who actually was an Indian child. But this is a fable. So parts of it are made like Johnny Appleseed really was a man, but
Yeah.
parts of it were not true, like sleeping with a grizzly bear. They also say that Johnny Appleseed always went barefooted and could even walk through snow and on top of ice barefooted. And he did die of pneumonia, so I don't know.
How
That's
he
sad.
died?
Like his feet would be freezing.
Well, yeah,
He
so,
died in a
but
cabin.
this story though is a made up story. That's why they call it the legend of the Blue Violet. So, I want you to go ahead and expect to see words like famine and drought and sacrifice. Indians also usually didn't name their children names like Julie, Kathy, Margaret, or Bob, Bill, Ted. They would name their children names from things in nature because they thought they loved nature and they took good care of the land. When they would go kill buffalo, they wouldn't kill a bunch of buffalo that they couldn't even eat. They would only kill what they needed to survive. They weren't wasteful. They didn't litter. They took care of the land. So they loved the land. And they thought about when they had hard times, they would talk to what they called the Great Spirit to get help with their problems. So get out your book, open your book please to page 40, page 40, and I want you to in silently read. If you come to a word that you do not know and you have tried to break it down into syllables and sound it out and you're still having a hard time, you let me know. Just raise your hand and Miss Millie or Miss Greer will come to you. Please start what your assignment is. Boys and girls, they try to write real decoratively. They're just showing you how in your book you have a G like this. And it is the word great, but they are just making the G very fancy. Great Spirit, that's what they call on when they have trouble.
I think that
Shh, we don't ever talk out loud. We raise our hand and take turns. Yes, James?
I actually think that's what this says.
It does. All right. Would you mind if I grab their papers? I had to leave because it didn't answer a question. I'll be right back. Wasim, James, Taylor, Charlotte. Come here, please. Bossy, come here, honey. You forgot to do this one. Why did Molly go into the cornfield? Why did they go into the cornfield? Remember yesterday? Yes. You can go sit down, right? James, come here real quick. Get your girl set up. James, why? Why did they go into the cornfield? Yeah, go sit down. You stay over there. You come here.
They have Cinderella's book.
But right here, why are you just going in that cornfield? Yes. That's good. That'll help. Okay. Yeah, Charlotte. Look at this. Why are you just going in that cornfield? I think finally go in the cornfield. If you don't know, you don't know, but if you have any idea, you can tell me. Why did Molly and Beth go in the cornfield? Okay, that's it. All right. Just a minute, please. This is one person's, oh, I see. Xavier, sweetie, you didn't write your name on here. Xavier, come here real quick, doll baby. While people are reading silently, walk and let me ask you this question. You left it out. I just wanted to ask if you left it out. Why did Molly and Beth go in that cornfield? Why did they go in there? I didn't know whether you left it out because you didn't see it. Somebody told me they thought it looked like it was number 5. Or whether you left it out because you just really didn't know. And I was going to give you a chance to answer it. Didn't you? No. Why did Molly and Beth go in the cornfield? Exactly right. Butch. Good. I'm glad you got that right. That'll help you. Brady, can you come here real quick 1 second? Boys and girls, everybody should be reading. Start writing your reading. boys and girls, yesterday on that test, several of you left several questions out. Remember when you take a test, boys and girls, it is so important that you always check. Use your finger and go down and make sure you answered every question correctly. Now, place your reading book on top of your desk and then turn to the first story on our page. This is Mrs. Moody's, actually my favorite story in this book is this story. I just love this story.
But those are pretty nice little pictures.
You need to raise your hand if you would like to talk out. Now, I forgive you. Let's go ahead and start our story today right here, and we'll go fingers up under the legend of the Blue Bonnet. Great spirits. Go ahead, Carly. That says great spirits. Can you read for us? Yeah.
Great spirits, the land is dying. The people are dying too. Long line against their saying, tell us what we have done to anger you in this drought. Save your people, tell us what we must do so you will send the rain that will bring back life.
All right, let's stop right there. The land is dying, the people are dying, and the Indians have made a long line and they are dancing. And to whom are these Indians speaking to? Who could raise their hand? Okay, Brock, who are they talking to?
Spirit.
The Great Spirit, right. They feel like that there is a great spirit that can send rain if it wants to. And it's saying, save your people. Tell us what to do. Read the next paragraph for us, please, Carson. 4:3. Oh boy. We always should follow with our finger in our book, so we always know. For 3 days, start there, say that.
For 3 days the dancers danced to the sound of the drum. And for 3 days the people called
Comanche, that's the kind of Indians they are. They are called Comanches. Now, look at that word, watched. Uh-huh. And that even though. No healing rains. Because why would they call Malachi the rain healing rain?
It heals the land.
It heals the land, right? It heals the
I
land
know.
and makes things grow. Now let's go to the top of the next page, 41. Boys and girls, your job is to follow with your finger like Xavier in your book so you know where we are and what's going on. Remember the word drought means what? No
Water.
rain, no water. And famine is what happens when you have no water to make the plants grow. You have no
Food.
food. All right, go ahead, Jordan. Drought, famine. Among all right. So boys and girls, and this little girl's name is what? She who is alone. That's her name. And there are not very many children left or very many old people. Why, James?
Because this Because there's drought and that, whatever that is.
Because of the drought
And something
caused a famine and no food. And young children and the very old people are the ones at the highest risk, because the young people are young and their bodies aren't as strong, and the old people are old, so their bodies are weaker.
And they used to have all that, which is
Right.
actually very pretty.
Right. Let's get back to the subject at hand. All right, read next for us, please, Charlotte. She sat by herself.
She sat by herself watching some pictures in her lap with a doll made from
Buckskin.
buckskin,
A warrior doll. Wow, with the juice of berries. Read for us, Walker. It wore.
It wore beaded leggings and a belt of polish, but on its head were really blue feathers from the bird who cried day, day, day. She loved her doll very much.
She loved her doll very much. So this doll is a beautiful doll, it sounds like. Read for us next, please, Taylor.
Then she is alone, said to her doll, the
Shaman.
shaman will go on alone to the top of the hill to listen for the words of the great spirit.
Okay, boys and girls, the shaman is like the wise man. All right, read next for us, please. Then we will.
Then we will know what to do. So then once more the rain will come and the earth will be green and alive. The buffalo will be plentiful and the people will be rich again.
All right, boys and girls, so what is the plan? The shaman will go to the top of the hill to listen for what, Brock?
The great spirit.
Uh-huh, that's the plan. Let's see how that works. Turn the page to 42. On page 42, start us out, please, Chandler.
As she talked, she thought of the mother who made the doll, of the father who brought the blue feathers. She thought of the grandfather and the grandmother. She had never known they were all like shadows. It seemed long ago that they had from men. The people had named her
Here.
cared for her. Warrior doll was the only thing she had left for those
That's right.
distant days.
Very good. Distant, those far away, long ago days. This poor little girl, there are very few children that are living there, very few. She doesn't even have her mother or her father, who both helped to make the doll, right? And she thinks of her grandmother and her grandfather and these people that she has never known, because she must have been just what? A baby when they passed away from the famine. So she loves this doll. It is so precious and valuable and important to her. It's the only thing that she has left to remember her mom and dad by, right? Do you understand what Miss Minnie's saying?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go up next to the top of the next page and hear from Layla.
The sun is
Right, it means it's going down. No. Cover up your second syllable, sweet baby. Runner.
he ran through the
Camp. Yeah, they call it a camp. Go ahead. The shaman.
shaman is
That's the word we had up here. When you have a long word like this, first look for a prefix. What's R-E? Read. T-U-R-N. I-R, turned. But your word has a different suffix, a different letter or letters added to the end. It has ing, right? The shaman is what? Returning. He's coming back. Now, see, the people are so glad to find out what the shaman is going to tell them about what the Great Spirit said to do because of the drought. What are they going to do? What are they supposed to do? Read for us, please, Wasim. Sound it out. Go out. Gather. A. That word is A, sweetie. You know that word. Shaman. Long O. That means you talk. So what did the shaman say? That's right. I have heard the words of the great spirits. He said. Become selfish. Okay? Well, thank you, and we'll let James pick it up there. The people, the shaman says, the Great Spirit says the problem is they've become very selfish.
for years they have took
Long
taken from the earth.
When you have a long word, this we just ask you to take your finger, cover up, and see what the first word is.
One
What? Yeah, that's
Without
it.
giving anything back. The Great Spirit says the people must sacrifice.
Good. We must sacrifice. So, they're at a point now where the Great Spirit, the shaman the Great Spirit told the shaman, you're being selfish people. You're taking from the land and not giving back. So let's find out what's going to happen. We must make, the Great Spirit say, right here, I'm sorry, honey.
The Great Spirit says that people must
Burnt offering.
of the most
Valued, What was that? Possession, good. Possession among us. So, their job, what they need to do is, a possession is what somebody owns or has.
I know.
And they're saying they must make a sacrifice of the most valuable possession among any of the people. What's the most important thing anyone has? And don't say the answer if you've read ahead, and don't make guesses, so put your hands down. And what we'll do tomorrow is we'll pick this back up, and I know we stopped with Kylie, so we'll finish her row, and the last row will be the first to read tomorrow. Thank you so much, boys and girls. And I hope you'll all enjoy this story as much as Miss Moody has loved it. So, close gently. You'll read tomorrow morning, I said. Gently close your book and put down your desk. It's time for your lunch. Thank you, boys and girls, so much.